Crowd of boys. Peace. What's good with you boys out there? Come to talk to you boys today about semen retention and give you guys a little bit of a story time dealing with a personal experience that I've had being out here in these streets in my dwelling place. I don't want to put out too much information because I don't want any lines to get wired and people catch this content and they navigate through to see that they are being talked about. And this isn't to shame anybody in decision making. This is a story time. I'm not gossiping about anybody. I'm just putting forth information dealing with semen retention, how this applies to us in our lives, the decision making that guys are making out here, also hearing and seeing different people's perspective on life, the extent that they are willing to go in their lives, and how semen retention, all right, can possibly or could have possibly helped the person in certain situations, or can possibly help you if you are dealing with a similar or certain situation, dealing with females, dealing with female attraction. What's the extent you're willing to go? In this dating climate, we have small pickings. This is no slight to women in the modern society of dating here in the US. Everything going on. Slim pickings. This market is crazy, but we still have options in this market. And what I'm talking about in this society is the conditioned mind, because that's where it starts first. It's the mindset of the people. We have set a standard on what dating and the status of dating should be, the expectations, the bar has been raised, and it's been manipulated. So if you can't meet a certain expectations, then you serve no purpose in that said dating market. But once when you remove yourself from what it is, what it entails, what it needs you or have you to do, all right, you understand that you don't really need that. Before I jump deeper into this topic, I just want to take the time out to thank you guys who come to the content, check the content. And once again, I like to share every now and then personal experiences, talk about, the female attraction, just to make sure that you guys, when you come here, you get a full balance of what semen retention brings. Because you get guys who say that the female attraction stuff is farce, it's placebo, and things of that nature. That's cool. All right. But me, myself, I don't have trouble with that aspect of my life of having women gravitate to me with or without semen retention. I know how to carry myself. Semen retention has enhanced me even more and more into that power, into that real masculine power. The look matches the energy and the energy matches the look. So, I try to maintain that balance and try to maintain that certain power. With that said, this is also a part of the journey. All right. I like to talk about the spiritual aspects of garnering your sexual energy and having it build you up in spirit and have you take your mind and rewire your brain off of the P and dependency of the other P. All right. Looking at the screen of P and having and all that comes with it. All right. It cleanses you from that. And now when you just dealing with people, society, all right, and you start to embrace what that energy feels like, you begin to find yourself more and more at a balanced state. Okay. Just want to get that out of the way first. Now, if you're out here, you're dealing with women or you want to deal with women and you want to build with someone you are looking to date, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm in a place, in a space in my life where I understand where I can entertain women for sure, talk to them, text, keep it cool, cordial, but I'm not thirsty. I'm not after, sex or anything like that. All right. And once when it becomes a sexual thing, that turns me off. I'm at a point where that turns me off. All right. And especially if you think you can use sex as a weapon over me. I'm not thirsty. I didn't come into situations on that type of time. So I will never show you, at any type of time I'm like that. Like I'm going to be thirsting over you for it. I didn't come to you like that. All right. So, females get their wires crossed. And I just want guys to understand that part also. All right. If you come all aggressive or not even aggressive, but if you come a certain type of way, they're going to expect that from you. All right. And, when you don't give it to them, they'll either leave you alone or, they inquire about you. Now, guys, being the magnet for these things is very key. You need to be alone. You need to stand alone. I've made topics about this. I got more topics coming to help guys through certain processes of being alone on semen retention. You need to be alone. Can't be on this journey serious if you are not single and alone. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Need to break up with that girl. I don't know who I'm talking to. I wish I had someone at a point in time in my life to tell me harsh truths when I needed to hear them. But if you're contemplating, if you're in between, if you don't know what to do, you want to reach out or, consult with the boy, you know what I mean? Holla at me. I can walk you through some steps to get you to where you need to get to if you're scared, if you're in the gym, whatever the case may be. But understand, it's true power in walking alone, taking your shit and going. The thing is that if you don't do it under your own volition, the universe will. Just gonna put it like that. The harsh truth is that you need to step away. You need to be the one to do the breakup. You need to cut ties, cut people off. All right? You need to show that you don't depend on what is that you're always dependent on. All right? With this society out here, modern society, once again, I like the stock market. All right? The ups and downs of the stock market. The options. The stock options. What do we have out here? You can either control your options or you can say, us guys, me, myself personally, I've said this before, being on a previous audio saying that having no options is still having options. Because you control that. You control your options. You can say that you have no options, or you technically do have options. It's just about your perception of how you look at it. You have options, you just control it. Once when you're the ghoster and not the ghostie, things change. When you cut people off and you start reaching out, those people are waiting on you. And they're like, yo, what happened to this person? How come they're not hitting me up no more? This isn't a pride or, play around game and go back and forth. That's not that. This is you taking your power back, understanding that you hold more value to yourself by giving away all your attention like that. So now you have the options. I can hit up or text someone right now and get a reply back. And they'll be like, hey, stranger, I get that often. Like, you haven't hit me, you haven't, yeah. I told you about that boundary and I don't compromise. So I left you alone. Obviously, you have your boundaries too, so I'll leave you alone. You have your boundaries, I have mine. So we're going to play respect, respect. I respect your boundary. I'm not here to change anybody. So I shouldn't expect you to be here to change me. And that should go for you guys as well. Understand the options that you have out here, the market, trading stock, the different relationships out here. I know a guy, and this is where I go into some personal stuff. A couple guys that I know who tell me that they are in a rut of just dealing with married women because of his profession. He works at a bar and stuff like that. So, when he goes into work as his side hustle, is his side hustle. Um, and when he goes to work, bro, like he runs into people who come to the bar drinking alcohol, lowered frequency, energy people. You follow? Anyone listening? And he's like, damn, I keep on dealing with these, and he's a single guy. I keep on running into these things with, married women. I always end up finding out either they're married or they, divorced, kids. These are the women that goes to the bar. This is what gravitates to that establishment. Then he indulges with the women and finds out why he cannot find a decent human being to be with. Sometimes he does find a genuine, but she's either going through a divorce, marriage, so she's scarred. She's still dealing with trauma. However that is, I don't know every situation down to the detail, but he has also told me another situation where he dealt with the woman and found out after that she was married. She deceived him, wasn't up front with him, or he wasn't asking the right enough questions, or didn't take the time to figure out her real moves. However he played it. Once again, I just dropped a certain audio too about taking accountability for ourselves. He didn't do his due diligence enough. He was so quick to jump in it and then found out after the fact. Now he in the mix. The market out here is crazy, guys. It's crazy. Trading stock. Guys are fed up, divorcing. I'm divorced. People are breaking up. People don't want to be in relationships no more. Guys are jumping on semen retention because they want to separate themselves from everything that's going on with women, and women ghosting dudes ghosting. It's a lot. The market is crazy. It's up and down. Those who can find real ones and attach on and have people in their quarter, that's for sure a real one. You know what I mean? I got one of those too. But this is about controlled options. This isn't about a relationship game. Being stuck in a soul tie in a relationship right now, according to how you want to move, you need to have options. And whoever plays the role best to those options, if you're on semen retention, you have to play into that. Take away sex from your female and see how she reacts. If sex is something that's a demand, supply and demand for her in a relationship, in you guys' relationship, then that lets you know. Either you have to cut a tie with her to go on 30 days, or if she can't stick out 30 days with you, then do I got to say more? But you make your own decision. Trading stock, guys, the market is very volatile. Supply and demand, buy low, buy high, listen, don't you got the option to buy low, buy high, but guess what? Should you invest your currency at all? You always got that option. And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? The people that are on my lives, whether they be female or male, I value my peace. I'm not a phone talker. I'm not a heavy texter like that. if we in the same vicinity, you know what I mean, we vibing, listening to music, chilling, doing work, whatever the case may be, we cool, right? But I don't have time to sit down and shoot the breeze and be on some, you know, one of the females that I deal with, we don't text, we don't, you know what I mean? But when we link, we link. You know what I mean? And it's not always sex. And it's not been sex. All right. Ramadan just ended. We wasn't together the whole 30 days because we can't do that. I have my own place. She got her own. Once again, this is, you know, more personal stuff, but you know what I mean? I'm a single man living on my own. She do her thing. If she's out there doing what she do, cool. That's a reflection on her as a woman, how she carries herself as a woman. I got trust how she carries herself in a woman. I'm not making her my female because I got my own stuff going on. I got an 8-year-old son I got to raise. I coach football, I do YouTube content. I got a part-time job. Like, I got a lot going on. All right, so a relationship, I let it be known up front. When you're honest with these women, it carries you a long way. When you're genuinely busy doing things, it carries you a long way. She has to also have that trust that you're out there doing what you're saying that you're doing. You get into it. All right. If you completing side missions, that's you as a man. If you're doing, you know what I mean, going out there dating, but the date, like I said, the dating market is trash. It's not worth buying into. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I know another guy, before I end off, that's going to the extent of marrying outside the country. All right. Which is a move, which is a play. All right. I don't want to go into detail. Listen, if you want to consult with me and you catch this audio, you want to consult with me, you know what I mean? Hit me up in the email. I'll give you the full details of these stories that I'm telling you. All right. But I don't want to put it out here on this platform because, once again, I don't like gossiping about people putting their business out there like that. I'm not ever going to say, you know, no names or whatever, and put all of my full business and these people are being able to be tracked down because, you know, who knows, you don't want certain things out there about you, about yourself, but this information is valuable because you have guys stepping outside the realms and taking their options outside of the realms. And, you know, we have our passport bros and other stuff like that, like mail order brides and stuff like that. Guys are going to that extent because they'll rather pay their currency in that way to guarantee that they know what they're getting. Guys are willing to go to other cultures, date outside their race, whatever that case may be. All right. I don't know, you know, whatever guys' options are, but they are creating their own options. They are controlling. They're taking it upon themselves and not just settling for what is out here in this dating market. Who has set this bar? Mainly by women. As men, we have to take that back. We have to take our power back, and that's our time and attention. It's not just all about the money, but it's our time and attention. It's our currency. Our life force energy. We are so warped in the brain over sex that women, and the easy access to women and what we attract, what we seem to attract are these lower vibrational type style of women. Sorry, but it's the truth. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Once again, it's the cold hard truth for some of you guys. With all that said, all right, I was about to get on another topic, but we're going to jump on that on another time. All right, about culture and our women, our society, and why us men are gravitating to certain content like this and alpha male strategies and knowing how to navigate through these women, and why we have to play ghost now with people. I like, not that I like doing it, but I found it more peaceful. I like my peace. I love my peace. When someone shows me, male and female, when someone shows me that they are not really at peace, that they are going through things in their life, I veer away from that energy. I fall back. All right. My time and attention, I value too much. My overall peace, I value too much to let that happen and let things interfere in that manner. And when you guys embrace the full intention of semen retention and being with self, all right, understanding your value, your worth, your energy will be better balanced and you'll be able to overcome these things and be willing to put yourself out there in the dating market and see what happens. You don't take my words, go out there in the dating market. If you're already out there, you already know what it is. However you're navigating, if you're with somebody, keep them close, keep them tight, help them understand you and have them open up to you also. That's another thing. Have them open up to you also in this market. Because how will you know a person if they don't open up? They have to reveal who they really are. Tell her to take that makeup off, take that wig off, and have a conversation with you. See, I don't want to keep on going, bro. I'm ending it off right there. All right. If you made it this long to the audio, I fuck with you the long way. For real, for real. Tap in with me in the comments, leave comments, all that good stuff, man. Make sure you like, hit subscribe button. With all that said, with love and peace.